When I came to the UCKG, my financial life was completely messy. So my condition was really frustrating and depressing for me sometimes. I was living in a hostel accommodation. I had little money to live on. I couldn't really work and declare because I was on benefits. So it was a very frustrating situation. So although I was studying, I was always doing a part-time work in order to get my finances sorted. And eventually I got married, and the situation changed a bit, but not exactly the way I wanted to. Then a campaign of Israel came, which the vision was for those who want to be great, for those who want to acquire big things. And I decided to go for it. I said, you know what, I've really got nothing to lose. Although I'm studying right now, although I'm at university, but I can have better means than I have now. I can be able to buy a better car, I can be able to get certain things in my house, which, you know, I think it's natural for any person to think like that. I decided to use some savings which I had in conjunction with someone. So the savings were not entirely mine. I'd taken that, so I decided to put in my envelope, and I also doing my physical sacrifice, because I was fasting, and my spiritual sacrifice, you know, being in prayer, being in spirit, you know, attending the service, trying to understand why I'm doing that. So eventually, when I decided to go for my business, which was the thing I wanted to, I done my business card, went around people's houses, letterboxes, trying to call people. So things were happening, but not really in the measure I was expecting. At the same time, I found myself struggling, not being able to achieve the level of my studies. So there I was, you know, doing well in my studies, and at the same time not doing well in my business. Then, by continue attending the service, I began to understand that, you know, my financial sacrifice wasn't really complete, in the sense of, you know, there wasn't really much effort to it. You know, was something that was entirely mine. It was just there, savings. I didn't really work for it. And besides, after the campaign, you know, instead of concentrating fully in the business that I wanted so much, so I was sharing that dream with my career, with my studies. So I wasn't giving my 100% in my business, at the same time not giving 100% in my studies. So that's why I was failing, plus the financial side. Then I took a step back. I said, you know what, let me really do things properly next time. So the next campaign came, you know, and there I was again, no savings this time, my little part-time money, you know, it wasn't really much, but it was a money with effort. It was a money which cost me. I sweated for it. Then it was at the same time when I actually finished my degree, and I found myself with a 2.2 grade, which, to be honest, is not really great. You know, in the current financial market, you know, people don't really want to hire people that great. But I said, you know what, God, you know what I want. You know, I didn't fail because I was lazy. It's because I've done a mistake. I'm gonna go for it. So I put that dream of the business on a hold for now. It's not that I gave up on it, but I've got big plans for it later. So I decided to concentrate on my studies, the degree I had. So apply myself to get a very good job. So I began to send CVs. You know, every single day I was sending CVs, contacting agencies and contacting companies directly. You know, with that exaggeration, I sent over 150 CVs, and that was in a period of almost a year. Imagine a person without working. I was married, you know, very frustrating situation. As a man, I couldn't really provide the way I wanted. But, you know, we were there. My wife was there encouraging me because she was working full time. I wasn't. So that was really, really frustrating, very, very terrible situation. Then I got a breakthrough, you know. Someone called me, look, we'd like to interview you. So I went for this interview. I found myself in a place where over 750 people applied for. Only 30 people got selected for interview. Who was there? Thank God, me. So we went for the interview. There were people there with master's degree, people there with a two final grade, people there with a first grade. But I said, God, no matter, I've got to do, but I'm going to go for it because you are with me. I know what I've done in my campaign. So I went for it. I got that brilliant phone call. Kelson, you got the job. You know, thank God today, you know, my finances are there. They're not there yet. And I don't say this boasting. I say this with a great humility. You know, for a person that once was living in a hostel, I had one pair of jeans. I used to take that jeans to church, take that jeans to work, take that jeans to college when I was in college. You know, today, thank God, I've got a selection of jeans. You know, in my workplace, you know, I'm a young manager. You know, many companies that applied for, they rejected me. I found myself in a position that some of these companies that rejected me, I am managing them. You know, I'm a project manager. I'm managing projects of over £100,000, over £250,000. You know, the company is able to provide a hire car. I travel across the country. You know, and you see that wrong decision, you know, that I've done before, the way my situation was, and after I've considered, I've analyzed it, you know, and I did not back off. I decided to trust in God. I went again for a campaign of Israel, and today my life is blessed.